Greetings! In this video I want to show you something really cool that I got from eBay. If you're thinking about making some macro shots or close-up videos or taking close-up pictures of random stuff, objects, whatever it is, this video is for you. So what I got is this, and this is a set of filters or lenses. Well, they really are lenses, but when you look on eBay you have to look for filters, macro filters, and there's 4 of them. They come in a nice little case, and one is marked +10, one is marked +4 I think, one is +2 and +1, and what those do is really cool. So it's a little bit like what I was doing with previously with random lenses that I've pulled out of a projector or a mobile phone or whatever else. If you put it in front of your camera, it changes the focal length of the whole assembly inside the unit. It changes the optical properties, and what happens, you are able to bring the object much closer. Now I'm recording right now with a camcorder with the Sony CX450. Being a camcorder, those usually have got a huge range of zoom. You can go and zoom in really far away at people standing at a long distance, and you'll be able to zoom in quite well actually. So they're really good at that. But the drawback is those cameras, camcorders, when you get up really close and you use the same sort of zoom in order to zoom in on a small object that's really close, it goes out of focus. The camera is unable to focus on that object because it's too close. So what it means is, as objects get closer, you've got less zoom available in your device to use. Now those lenses over here change that, and they fix that problem. So there's +1, +2, +4 and +10. That's the biggest set I was able to find on eBay. Basically what they do, the moment you put on +1, there's very minimal optical difference, but you're able to get the objects just that little bit closer, and with +2 even more, with +4 even more, and with +10 obviously the most of it, because those are threaded. Now my camera has got the 37mm thread, which is one of the standard sizes, and you can buy those on eBay in all sorts of different sizes. And they've got a male thread on one side and a female thread on the other side. So what it means, you can even combine the two and have a multiplied factor. So if you put in +2 and +1, you'll probably get +3, I guess. I'm not too sure how that works in terms of properties, because apart from the actual lens in here, there is also the distance from the one lens to another, and so on and so forth. Now you can't just stack 100 of them. It's not going to work. If you know, you're not going to get 1,000 times zoom. Even with the 4, I was doing a couple of shots, and if I get all 4 of them stacked up in a pile, there's other things that come into play. You'll start hitting the chromatic aberration, where every edge has got the blue and red tint and so on and so forth. It's just not working. So to a degree you can use those, and it will work really well. Here they are on eBay, and as you can see, this cost me just under £8, £7.47. The item number, if you're trying to find one, by the way, with those item numbers you can just type that number into a search box on eBay and it will show you that exact item. It's item number is 151575301770. There we go. I just finished shooting the other video where I was looking at the camera optics from camera modules, and I was actually using the +10 filter or lens. As I said before, they're called filters on eBay. I was so impressed with it that I decided to shoot this video and show you, in case you were looking for something like this, like myself a while ago. Yeah, you'll have an idea of what difference this will make, and what sort of picture you can get with something like this. Now, before I got those, I was contemplating for quite a while, because I didn't know what to expect, and I was looking high and low. I couldn't find anyone actually testing it and putting it to a comparison against one another, what it does. So here it is, the test I've come up with this for this will be very simple, but you'll be able to gain the sort of impact that those make. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up a small object. The camera will be on the tripod, not being moved at all. At first I'll try to get as much zoom as possible, manipulating the object and the zoom on the camcorder to get as high magnification as possible. When that's done, I will then put on the +1, +2, +4, +10, and then maybe a few together, so we can get an idea and you see how close you can get and what sort of picture quality comes from it. It's worth noting that with those filter lenses, nothing comes free, so there are some drawbacks to using those. So first of all, the focal length, or the distance at which your camera is able to focus, reduces dramatically. So with a +1 or +2, or without a lens like this, your camera is able to focus here and here, and it's all kind of there or thereabouts. But the moment you start putting the camera, the distance of where your camera is able to focus will keep decreasing, and it will get smaller and smaller and smaller, to a point where at +10 you've got only maybe, I don't know, a couple of centimeters distance where something is in focus, and everything else, either closer or further away, will be blurry. So with that, that's why I'm gonna have to move the object in the picture to and from the camera in order to get the best possible ratio. So let's get to it and you'll see what I mean. Okay, here's the setup. So I'm recording this with my mobile phone, and we've got the object in question, which is the smaller sensor from the previous teardown. And I've got the IKEA tape just taped over to here, so I can tell you how far the object is, and another piece of tape just stuck for scale to a heatsink, and which I can move forwards and backwards to adjust the distance from the camera. Let's have a look with this setup on how it is right now. How close can we get to it? So let me keep this at let's call that 20 centimeters, and let's see if I can zoom all the way in. Right now it's fully on full wide, so I'm going to keep zooming in. I need to adjust the height a little bit to center it. There we go. And let's keep going. Okay, you see I'm a little bit here, so it's losing the focus, and if I move the object away a little bit, it gains focus back. So if I zoom in now, it loses the focus again. So right now this is pretty much the borderline of what's possible. Now I need to go even further away. So if let's zoom back out, you can see more or less the screen over here it's worth noting, just about 3.4 millimeters across, so 3.4 centimeters, so 34 millimeters. So let's put on the +1 lens filter and see what happens. Okay, so this is the lens on, and let's see if we can zoom it a little bit in. This is +1, so it's not making a huge difference. As I said, the +1, it makes almost nothing. It's just a tiny bit smaller. We're down to 3 centimeters across the full screen, just about 3 centimeters. Let's put the +2 one on. Okay, I've switched over to controlling the camera with my phone, so I don't have to touch it to adjust the zoom now, so no more shaking. But this is the +2, so I've taken +1 filter off and I've put on +2. So the object is still at 20 centimeters as before. I moved it around a little bit before, but I've put it back on 20 centimeter distance, and let's see where can we zoom in. So this is, yeah, not much happening. We're actually at 2.8 centimeters across. If I move it a little bit closer, let's move it back to 20. Yeah, that's about focused. So let's move this like this. Yeah, 2.1, 2, 3, 4, 2.5 centimeters across. So a little bit more than before. Okay, and I haven't moved the object. It's still at 20 centimeters, and I haven't touched the zoom yet. This is with the +4 close-up filter, and we're at from 2.5 to 2.2 millimeters across the screen. There we go. So now it allows us to zoom quite a bit more. Okay, that's a bit too much maybe. There we go. So where are we? That's 1.6 centimeters across the screen, and if I move it any closer it will get out of focus, and I can't use any more zoom either, because if I zoom in any more I'll have to move the object further away, so it doesn't work. Let's put on the +10. Now this should be the biggest difference, because it was +1, +2, +4. This next one is +10. So let's see what happens. This is what you will see. Well, this is what you see now, because I haven't moved the object at all. So I'll have to move it quite a bit closer for it to get into focus. And there you go. So this right now is, if we move it away, just about a centimeter across on the screen. So let me just move the camera a little bit up. Okay, so we are getting into really nice macro shots. So let's try to zoom in a little bit more. Oh, I can't, I'm on maximum zoom, am I? No, I can still zoom in a little bit, but I think that's about the limit. So if I go any further, yeah, it begins to lose focus. But if I move it closer, no, further away, I'm at 13. Yeah, this is probably the sweet spot, just about 14 centimeters away from the camera lens. And you can get quite close with it, but the picture quality becomes a little bit off, and you can see on the screen what I mean. So that's what those lenses or filters can do. But let me try now combine a couple of them and see what happens. So first let's put all of them on and see what that's going to look like. And those are all 4 of them on, with the +10 being screwed into the camera, then +4 to the +10, +2 to the +4, and +1 to the +2. I'll try in a moment the opposite order to see if that makes a difference, but this is what we can get with that. So the picture quality is decent, I think. And but at the moment I'm at 6 centimeters away from the camera, so it's quite close, and I can potentially zoom in a little bit more. But it begins to go a little bit out of focus, and you can, if you look on the line, the black line on the millimeter mark on the right, you can see what I mean in terms of aberration, where it's got blue and red tints to it. We're approaching limit of what those optics can do. But this yeah, right now I've got maybe 2 or 3 millimeters of focal depth. Anything more than that, it will just be out of focus. So let me move the object a little bit closer, and it instantly is out of focus. It's still trying to focus. Yeah, so there's maybe about 5 millimeters depth, and this is on maximum zoom right now. So this is what we can see. Let me try not to move the setup right now and change the order of the lenses. Okay, I think I haven't moved anything, but it's completely out of focus. So let me try to move it in and out and see what we get. Okay, there we go. Maybe I moved it a tiny bit, so I'm at now I'm not at about 9 centimeters away. So no, I haven't moved the the camera, I just had to get this a little bit further away, but the end result is more or less the same, maybe a little bit better picture quality wise, I'm not sure. This is if I zoom out a little bit. If I don't keep the camera on maximum zoom, the picture quality is significantly better. So if I maybe limit the camcorder's zoom to 80% ish, then the picture quality is really nice, actually. At least on the previous screen it looks really nice, and you can get quite close to it. So how far are we? 6-7 millimeters across the screen. So that's quite a nice zoom actually. Of course, the lighting of the over here, the amount of light is everything. So this is with the little epoxy USB light providing the additional source of light over here. But if I remove that, it's, yeah, you can't see anything really. The camera is not handling it because there is just so little light coming in. With such a high magnification, it's a good idea to actually put some additional sources of light. This is just a little test setup, but if I was shooting something, I'd probably think of getting something that will provide quite more light, maybe some LED fixture. And there you go, that's how they look like, that's how they work, and that's what they are. So those little filters, well, they're lenses technically, as I said, I'm repeating myself. But they are called macro filters on eBay, and they're made by, they've got a Rise UK logo on the, and yeah, I think they're really nice for the price. £7-8, you can't go wrong. I mean, it allows you to get that much closer to an object, and especially when I stack all 4 of them up like this, it was a really good effect. I'm curious what would happen if I stack 2 of the +10 ones together, or maybe 4 of the +10 ones, but I've got only 1 and I don't think I'll be buying another one. But if you were wondering what those are, how they look, like I did a while ago and then I bought them to find out, this is what it is. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. I really like those lenses, and I'll be using those extensively on the channel to film a lot of the up close-up shots of random electronic items that I'll take apart. But for this video, that's it. So thank you very much for joining me. Get one of those if you want to, just look on eBay, and that's it for this one. Take care.